Welcome back to the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. It has been a while since I filmed, and since my last video, which was dealing with that section, I have now completed the dormer and the eaves under here. Getting ready to move around to my last end. That's the end over there. I wanted to do some videoing earlier for that dormer, but what I've been finding is that when you're up there high on scaffolding, I don't have a GoPro, so it's very hard to get anything on film as the process is unfolding. But I have since stripped down all the scaffolding for that dormer. But that was the last dormer, the third dormer, which is now complete. And needless to say, I'm a joyful person right now for all of those dormers being done. Looking back across it, kind of see what I've got. I'm just getting ready to strip down the scaffolding here. Sorry, I'm zooming in here without realizing it. I also put the last corner on, outside corner, and this morning I put the last inside corner. Still got to put another coat of paint on that. That's only got a couple coats on it. So once I get the electrical in here and get this inspected, I can put the eaves, all of the tongue and groove underneath of that, as I had started over here in an earlier video, just enough to get my siding on here. I had put 5 or 6 small pieces across, and that was that tongue and groove material that I had made myself. And surprisingly enough, it actually, it's been cut for over a year. Very minimal shrinkage or anything, any problems with that. Worst case scenario, you can always run a small bead of caulk in. I don't like doing that, but you can. So yeah, what I've done here, I'll come up here on the scaffolding and give you a little bit of a close-up. If I can do this with one hand. Come in on these. These are inch and a quarter, and then a 2-inch bead, 2 3/4, and then a 2-inch piece against it, caulked. Then I come in here. Well, this is going to focus. As you can see, I've got plastic in there, so because I was painting, just getting ready to take that plastic off. And got a nice straight eave here. Turned out nicely, and put on, that's 1.25 inch. That freeze board is 1.25 inch with the 3/4 inch bead, and it worked out almost perfectly. Sorry, this thing is not focusing here. There we go. Worked out almost perfectly to the bottom of this trim board that comes along the face of the eave here, or the face of the porch. I couldn't have worked that out better if I'd planned it. I'm right in there within a 1/16 of an inch, so my siding will come right along and then just notch up in against my tongue and groove. And then over here, got the last of the corners, as I say, on, and this is the detail. It takes a little bit of work, but this actually turned out nice as well. So what I do is, this is actually, I don't know whether you can see it, it's butted. It's still a little bit wet, but it's butted. A 4-inch piece is butted into a 4 3/4 piece, so I've got a 4 3/4 inch reveal each way. But when I came up here, I knocked the corner or stopped the corner here and 45 this, and then 45 my freeze board right into this. So this corner board here is 45 from that point up, and that way this came in, and then this sets right in underneath of that freeze board, and then I just notched it in the 3/4, 13/16 of an inch of what the thickness of this board is, as you can see here, and then I brought this corner up against it with the bead. And of course everything's caulked and painted, so you got a really nice, come in there, you can see you got a really nice detail on that. And of course around on this side, you've got just a little bit overhang. So this board is coming down, will come down by just a bit. Probably what I'll do is fill that little section in, so my siding will go around it. Haven't decided yet, we'll see. And then this has got to be boxed in. So that's my next step, is to do this end. I also completed trimming out these last 2 garage windows. I've got all the nail holes filled. I just got to sand them down and give them a couple top coats. So the only windows that are left are the double windows here and the double windows in on the porch. Come around here. Sorry, this is an information video again. I know some people prefer the action, and I like to do that, but it's just been very difficult. So that's the other set right there. And then of course I have my garage doors and the man door over there, but that's kind of down the road after I get the garage floor poured. So we are getting there. I figure if I have about another 2 days, I can get all the trim work made up on that end and put on and painted. So I'm hoping by, Lord willing, by the end of Saturday this week to be just about done, provided it doesn't rain, just about done the eave work, which is sealing everything up so I don't have critters getting in anymore. And it also does a really nice, makes it look really nice to have stuff trimmed off and finished. If I had the money up front here, I'd just go ahead and keep putting siding on, but I want to try to swing to the inside and get some of my couple rooms finished upstairs, the bathroom and the laundry, and also I'm going to start wiring the basement to try to get that ready for an inspection. Get that apartment wired up. A friend of mine's electrician's going to give me a hand. I don't like tackling all that myself. One other thing before I sign off, just wanted to show you. I was teasing my sons. I said I bought an excavator and a bulldozer. I wish. My friend brought over his Cat D6 and the hi-ho or excavator there, and so we're getting ready to do the final grades, because this is you can see it's kind of going uphill here. We're going to start cutting this down, push all of this stuff across over, because you can see there I'm almost 1.5 to 2 feet to get into the garage. So this is all going to be filled in, and this has to be cut down somewhat, maybe a foot, 8 inches to a foot in that section. I just want a gentle slope here. Right now I've got a slope of about 18 inches. You can't see it behind the pile of rock, but there's about 18 inches on that corner down to the ground, and over here I'm 2.5 feet. So it's dropping almost a foot. A 6 inch, 4 to 6 inch grade, that's not going to be too bad. So we're going to try to cut this down, get it ready so we can get the septic system in, because right at that point I'm about 16 inches off the ground. And so we have got this pretty much ready, as I noted on earlier, to get the entrance on. I've got the engineer, the electrical engineer, coming out for the power company to make sure I've got everything ready so I can start digging lines, bring power in, because the power is coming off that temporary pole out there, where my pole where the temp is connected. There's a pole out on the road. So there should be a lot of action going on here coming soon. I'm going to try to film a little bit of this excavation work for posterity and for YouTube, because I like, my friend he can pick teeth with that thing, and he gets on there, and I know that he'll do an excellent job of getting this shaped, dropping this down, filling that in, taking this kind of that swale out of my driveway. This driveway comes in, and it's got a, as you can see, it's got a dip in it. So we're going to try to fill that in a bit, take some of that out, and make a natural basin for the for my storm drain down here. I can always add to that storm drain. I did it, showed that, how I constructed that in an earlier video. So you can check that video out. I'll try to put it, the video number, down at the bottom of the screen, because I had raised this. This was a deep hole down in here. We've probably filled in 8 feet of fill here, because this alone was 4 feet. So this storm drain, we are going to try to make kind of a natural bowl right in around here, so everything comes running into that, and then obviously comes out here on the other side, right down. I don't know whether you can see it. The end of the culvert is coming out right there, so it's kind of blended in with the weeds right now. You can just kind of see the black culvert sticking out there. So he's going to take all this sawdust and he'll just drop his blade and spread that out down over there, so I'm not building right on top of sawdust when I bring the driveway in, straighten this driveway out. This way he can just push this down, 5-6 inches deep, not too bad. You can pack that with gravel and fill. Of course, there's also some stumps. That's why he brought the hi-ho, to do some stumping, because I've got a couple here, couple big pines and a poplar stump, and then I've got a couple pine stumps over there and 2 or 3 along that base of that hill. So he's going to take those out for me. I buried several in here, some of my earlier videos, so I wasn't driving over those. So that is where we're at. I've got some progress. It's been over a week, but slow and steady. That's what you've got to do, and we'll get this thing done. I would say, well, I don't have to do that day again, hopefully, when it comes to getting all of this eave work done. So appreciate you joining me. I know, like I said, it's an information video, but there are several out there just watching, trying to follow along and see what I'm doing, how it's coming along. And the good news is we're getting there, step by step. When I get done the eave work, the plan is for me to move inside, and that way I can videotape more, because I'll be kind of set up and doing stuff on solid surface again. And I'm going to start, like I said, getting the wiring down in the basement, so I can get that inspected and get the walls sealed in, interior studs sealed in, and start maybe setting up some cabinets, at least some temporary countertops and stuff for us to move in. So we're getting there. If you would, please like and subscribe, hit the like button, and follow along, because there's a lot more to come. But until next time, as always, I say you have a great day and we'll see you.